Hey up, cock. It's League One predictions time for Good Friday. Because there's league games Friday, Monday, and I want to get like videos out on the Saturday and Sunday, I will have to do the Monday predictions on my TikTok instead. So I will leave the link at the top of the description if you want to see them ones. But as far as Good Friday is concerned, we've got Exeter and Burton up first. This is at 1 o'clock. I think this is on telly then. A strange game. Exeter Burton. I don't think anybody's lining up to watch that, respectfully. And Exeter have just done Burton a rate favour now. They bet Bristol Rovers 2-1 in the last game, so that got Burton out at bottom four for the first time, I actually think, all year. Like, if there were a graph of Burton's positions, I think they've been in bottom four since probably first game. And even though I banged on about Burton being quite a good side, which they are, this isn't going to be a walk in park for them. Exeter had no mugs, especially recently. They've been, like, fairly inconsistent for most of the year, which is why they're sat in 15th. But they've only lost 2 out of the last, like, 10, 11-ish games, which to Wrexham and Stockport, so... Burton, as good as they are, they're not Wrexham or Stockport. Do you know what I mean? They're still a good side, but they've not got that especially forward-thinking aspect that Wrexham and Stockport have got. That being said, they did beat Huddersfield 3-0. So, my brain's a bit scrambled with this one. And instinctively, I would just say draw if I don't know what to go with a lot of time. But Burton's away form, at the last 6, they've won 3, lost 3 out of the last 6. The losses are to Wrexham, Stockport and Wycombe. So even though I'm saying, like, yeah, Burton aren't Stockport and Wycombe as in they're the sides that Exeter lose to, Burton have bet in the last 6 games Shrewsbury, Lincoln and Stevenage. Exeter definitely fit that bill as opposed to the Wrexham, Stockport, Wycombe's that Burton are losing to. Also part of the fact that Burton have got something to play for and Exeter aren't, I will say 2-1 Burton to get it going today. Birmingham Crawley. Wow, this, okay. I've said before that Birmingham aren't big scorers, and I think the one game I give Birmingham a huge scoreline for were against us and the better 6-2. This is going to be a cricket score, I am telling you. Yeah, Birmingham lost that stupid pizza trophy. Not one person cares. I'm sorry. Nobody cares. It is literally a League One team's priority to get out of that competition if you're half decent and you want to get promoted. Nobody cares about the trophy. God, I bet they're gutted. They've won league with 6 games left. They're going to break points record. They're all absolutely minted, all them players. I bet they're gutted they didn't lift Papa John's Virtue Bristol Street Motors trophy. Now, I could see Crawley scoring, probably on a counter-attack. Birmingham do seem to struggle with counters. Obviously, Birmingham are just pinning opposition in the box like non-stop. 90 minutes every single week, every game. The defence of the opposition is just knackered from defending non-stop against Birmingham. But it does give them option to break, because Birmingham do put a lot of men forward, and that is something that I think they have to change at Championship, like I said in the Birmingham video that I've just done. However, with how crap Crawley's defence is, they've conceded 81 goals. I am going to give Birmingham minimum 4. I do think they'll be fired up for it. They're still going for points record. This is definitely a game that you want to get back on track after losing that. I'm going to give Birmingham... They got 6 against Barnsley against 10 men. I'll give Birmingham 5. I think I said that for when they bet us as well. I'll go Birmingham 5-1 against Crawley. I do think it'll be an absolute shit show start to finish. Bolton Wycombe. Nah, honestly, a couple of weeks ago, I'd have been coming into this thinking definite Bolton win. I'd have had a very clear vision in my head that Bolton are definitely going to win this game. Wycombe got a lot of hard fixtures with these last 4. They look like Wrexham are going to get away from them a little bit. Bolton were on really good form until recently. However, Bolton against Barnsley of a week looked absolutely honking shit. Don't get me wrong, we were really good, and I've said this a couple of times, as wingers, tore them in your arsehole big time, Jallow and Humphries. And Wycombe have just come off back of 2-1-0 wins straight away. I'm going to say 1-0 Wycombe. I do think Wycombe will win this one. Like I said, I do think Wrexham will pull away and get promoted in second place, because I think Wycombe will struggle in the other games after this one. But Bolton defensively were terrible. And I think if Wycombe can get them, especially down the width, they will have a field day. Bolton did create the odd very good chance against us, but they probably had like 4 or 5 shots max all game. There were very good chances, but they weren't creating enough. And I feel like Wycombe defensively are definitely better than what we are. 1,000,000% better than what we are. So I will go with a Wycombe 1-0 win. I do think it'll be a close game and probably quite edgy and nervous, as Wycombe's games have been for the last like few weeks, if not months. But I still think they'll win. Charlton, Northampton. Oof. The fact it being at Charlton just instantly sways me. You know what I mean? They're really, really good at home. They drew the last one to Lincoln at home 2 apiece, but they were 2-0 down. Before that, they'd won about 9 games in a row at home, Charlton, something like that. Thing is, Northampton aren't actually that bad away. Like, their away form is 14th in division, Northampton's. It's home that they're not very good. They're 19th for that. That being said, Northampton are chipping away all right, to be fair, down at bottom. They're not mathematically safe yet. They are 5 points in front of Bristol Rovers, and Bristol Rovers will not get 5 more points than Northampton for the rest of this year. But they're not safe yet, so there's going to be that creeping in. And I do think they will go in definitely playing for a draw. 100% they'll go for a draw. It's just if Charlton can break them down enough and if they're patient enough. But I think they will be. Again, I don't think it'll be a big score because, like I said, I think Northampton will go here just trying to get a 0-0. But I could see like a fairly comfy Charlton 2-0 win. And keeping pressure on a little bit for top two, but definitely cementing really good form going into playoffs Charlton. I think they're going to do it, I'm telling you. Huddersfield and Cambridge, again, if it's down to an who wants it more, Cambridge have got 1 foot in grave. And I still think they probably want it more than Huddersfield do. Huddersfield got absolutely slapped 3-0 away at Burton last week. Cambridge lost 1-0 at home to Charlton. But before that, they've been doing all right. They've not lost loads and loads of games. They've gone 4 in a row without losing. It's quite a tough one, this, you know. If it were, if it were at Cambridge, I'd probably be more likely to go to give Huddersfield something. At home, they've been so bad for like a while now. They've won 2 out of the last 3, but they're not scoring enough goals at all. And Cambridge defensively aren't that bad, especially at all like bottom sides. Cambridge's defense is probably what like has kept him in it this long. They offer nothing going forward, so I don't think it's going to be a massive high-scoring game. It's not going to be one that everybody's writing about day after, that's for sure. Absolutely nobody is going to watch highlights of this game, apart from me. I'll go 0-0. I think Cambridge are going to have to throw bodies at it later on, but I don't think Huddersfield are good enough creating chances to capitalise on it anyway. I think it'll be 0-0, probably up until like 70th, 80th, and then you'll start seeing something happen. But I still think it'll stay as that. I don't think either of them have got the quality up front. Huddersfield have obviously got the quality in the striker department, but I forgot. I saw a post about Taylor that they got up front. They've bought a Ferrari and they're playing it off road. That is very, very true. Good analogy that, because they've got this absolute freaking nature for this league stood up front and they're not utilising properly. They don't create enough Huddersfield, and I think Cambridge's defence can deal with him quite easily. So I'll stick with 0-0. Leyton Orient versus the Reds. Oh, I'm so excited now. You know, after the Bolton game, I'm so gassed to watch Conor Urian's title-winning 25-26 League 100 points Reds. I also think this is closing in on my 50th. It might be my 50th. I'll work it out at some point, but I think this is close to my 50th different away team that I've gone to. You Reds probably seen us lose at 40. Similar to Bolton, Leyton Orient, very good side. But I do think the way this game will pan out will suit how we played against Bolton very well, to be honest with you. I do instinctively, and I'd hope you'd know this by now about me. I'm very delusional at the start of the year, but my delusion does whittle out to the point that I get extremely depressed with Barnsley as it goes on. So normally I would come into this game saying we're definitely going to lose, we're offering nothing. I've been doing that for the last couple of months. But if we play like we did against Bolton, we will absolutely batter these. Especially with how Leyton Orient like to set up. As a way form in this division, Barnsley is very good. We can't deal with trying to break teams down a lot of time. Playing on counter suits us massively. We're a lot better as underdogs, us. Will we concede? Abso-flipping-lutely. Because regardless of the fact that we look good going forward, as defence is still as shaky as ever. And it won't change until summer's here and we can change some of them lads. Is Callum going to score? Well, he's top goal scorer in the league and he's took 1 penalty. So I would assume so. I'm going to assume he peels off someone like McCarthy and scores quite easily. However, I also think we will score a couple. I genuinely think we will win this 2-1. Yep. Call me deluded. Call me whatever you want. Call me Shirley. Don't care. I think Barnsley are going to win this 2-1. Touching down in London at AF9. Bag bezel Barnsley. You Reds. Peterborough and Stockport. Well, Stockport have won 4 in a row. They've won 5 out of the last 6. They only lost to Wrexham 1-0. Peterborough. There's so many ways you can look at this, and I never know which one to go with. Like Peterborough. Are they high on life / still pissed after beating Birmingham to the point where they just don't care? Season's done. They're not bothered about this game. Stockport are going to want it a lot more than them, you think. Or Peterborough like, well, we can beat anybody in this division, so now we're going to go and beat Stockport, want it like playoff favourites. I don't know which way to go with it, but I am teetering on the fact that the season we're done and they've gone and bet like £30 million Birmingham, so they might just be on piss and not that arsed. So I might give Stockport to win here. Stockport are really comfy as well in a lot of the games. They are so good. The last 3 games have won by at least 2 goals. Like, they're a good side, these are. The one before that, they bet Burton 2-1, are in really good form. They bet Bolton away 1-0. I'm feeling like I'm going to go it again. I'm going to give a fairly comfortable 2-0 to Stockport here. I do not think Peterborough could give one flying pig what happens in this game, to be honest, after beating Birmingham. Reading-Lincoln. Reading drew 0-0 away at Northampton. Lincoln drew 1-1 at home to Shrewsbury. Lincoln clearly not bothered what happens for the rest of this year. They're sat in 12th. It's just like, it's very Lincoln these days, isn't it? They're just a staple of mid-table / top half, but not good enough at playoffs League One side, Lincoln are. I do think, though, You know, similar to Bristol Rovers, how they've been in trouble this year. And I'm going to get this in very nice and early, because Bristol Rovers were like a Lincoln for a long time. And then this summer, they've just gone to absolute pace, especially from a defensive standpoint. I think Lincoln will end up doing the exact same thing. I think both of Lincoln's centre-backs, which are definitely two of the best players, and two of the best centre-backs in this league anyway, are both out of contract, I think. Neither of them are going to be in next year. I do think Lincoln could be in trouble next year. Brothers, may I offer you Jason McCarthy? Reading do draw a lot of games as well, especially at home. But they also don't lose many games, if any, at home. They've not lost in a long time at home. 3 all season at home. And Lincoln away, 5 wins all year. I'm going to Reading a win. Again, I think it'll be quite a narrow one. I'll go just absolute classic. 2-1 Reading. Rotherham and Mansfield. Mansfield are back to losing ways. Again, absolutely classic. I thought they turned a page when they bet us, and then they went and bet Bristol Rovers. But 3 losses in a row to Charlton, Huddersfield and Leyton Orient. It says otherwise. It's a good job that they had a good a start as they did Mansfield, because these are another one that I think will be in bother next year. Rotherham had won 3 games in a row and looked like they'd changed after sacking Steve Evans, but then they went and lost to Stockport away. But like we said, Stockport are a very good side. It's no secret now. You don't have to just pretend it's not happening just because they've come up from League Two. Like, they are a good side, Stockport, and they're definitely better than Rotherham. But Mansfield aren't Stockport. Mansfield are crap. And Rotherham, like I said, have turned a corner a little bit after Steve Evans got sacked. Defensively look a lot better. I do think, saying that, I do think Mansfield will get a goal. I do think you can get at them, Rotherham. But then I'm at the same time, I'm comparing Rotherham now to what I saw when I played them. Not me, personally. When Barnsley played them twice, went home and away. So I'm comparing them to that, but that's not what they are now. And off highlights, they do look a lot better defensively. However, I do still think that the players themselves aren't that good at Rotherham, and you can get at them. So I will give Mansfield a goal, but I will give Rotherham 2 because Mansfield's defence is even worse. So we'll stick with a Rotherham 2, Mansfield 1. Shrewsbury and Wigan. This is just so pointless. Like, Wigan is safe. I know it's only 5 points. There's a lot of teams that's on 5 points. Wigan, Mansfield, Northampton. 5 clear of Burton and Bristol Rovers, that is. And Shrewsbury, regardless, realistically, unless they win this game and God himself comes down and stops Burton from getting another point for the rest of the year, Shrewsbury are going down. They have not won a game, Shrewsbury, since the 8th of February. We are now on the time me recording it. Well, I'm posting it today. We're on the 15th of April. They've not won in over 2 months. Are they going to score loads of goals against Wigan? Absolutely not. Not a chance. Wigan offered Jack Diddle squat going forward, but defensively they're a good side. 1-1. So shall we just go with that and move on? Wigan are going to be fine, and Shrewsbury going down. Apologies, Shrewsbury, for being as blunt as I am being, but we all know it's coming, and I think it'll be a draw. Shrewsbury 1, Wigan 1. 2 left. We've got Stevenage and Blackpool first. Again, 2 mid-table sides. None of them can do anything now. Like, how do you even call it? I wouldn't know what perspective to go at. Would you go off form? For 2 sides that don't care, would you go off form? Players trying to prove themselves? Maybe certain loan players trying to play really good so they get a contract or something like that. Stevenage defensively have been really good all year, and I think they've got one of the most important players per team in division with Pierre Gianni, that centre half. Without him, I do think they'd be in a lot more trouble, Stevenage. But Blackpool are a good side, you know. Blackpool are a good side. They're one of the best teams I've seen Barnsley play this year, especially at our place. I do think they're a good team. And they offer a fair bit going forward. They lost to Rotherham in the last game. But I do think both cancel each other out again. I think Blackpool's strength is going forward and Stevenage's strength is definitely at back end. But I do still think Blackpool score. I do like Niall Ennis. He's being good here. And the core of Blackpool's squad's quite good. I'll give Blackpool a 1-0. Again, I think it'll be a close, edgy, fairly boring game with nothing on line really for either of these sides. But I do think Blackpool have got enough going forward for a 1-0 win. And then finally, I've been working it out as I've been going on. I've been waiting for a Bristol Rovers fixture, wondering who they're playing. Wrexham away. Goodbye, my lover. Would it be extremely football and extremely me as well to say that Wrexham are going to pull away from Wickham and Bristol Rovers are definitely going down? Bristol Rovers have lost 6 in a row. For them to go and beat Wrexham at their place, Burton lose, Burton end up going down, Wickham getting second. That'd be the most me thing ever. And after I've said it, why can't I see it happening? No, we've got to be real. We've got to be realistic here. Bristol Rovers' defence is absolutely horrendous. Wrexham obviously drew 0-0 with Wigan, but Wigan have got much better structure from a defensive point of view than Bristol Rovers have, and they've got Sam Tickling now as well. Bristol Rovers have got absolutely nothing from a defensive standpoint to write home about. They're just crap. Wrexham, good going forward and very good defensive side. As we've said all year, they've only conceded in 1 game in the last 6. They're a very, very good defensive side. Bristol Rovers, I could see scoring in most games. I don't think going forward they're the worst side ever. They're not good, but they're not the worst side ever. But I don't think they'll score against Wrexham. And I think Wrexham could have a bit of a field day. I'll go 3-0, to be honest. And this is going to sound very strange after I've just said Wrexham 3-0, but I could see Bristol Rovers getting something from this game. One of them ones. Don't bet on this. Don't bet on it. That's that, boys. Absolute pleasure. I feel like I've been recording for about 5 seconds there. That's gone quite quick. Love you all. Make sure you like and subscribe if you do enjoy. Please, it helps me out a lot. There'll be Championship editions tomorrow. And then I've got a really good video coming out on Thursday, so with that as well. So make sure you stick around. Thank you as always. Love you all, kids. Goodbye.
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.